Okay, so give me 1 second. And we've got it. Okay, so So I get 67, so the sum, so if I get this here, so let me add this table. Remember, I'm not going to round until the very end, so all these numbers are correct. So this is going to be 304.75, 188, 85, 974.25. 2678, 1172.2, 851.4, and 510.65, and the last one is 74.95, 74.95. Okay, and if you add those up, you get the numerator, so this is x of MP times f is 6755. Okay, so now I have 6755 divided by 100, and so the average of this distribution is 67.55. Okay, that's the average. And in fact, if I use the rounding rules, now look at the rounding rules. The rounding rules is what's the original data? If you remember, the original data went out to a maximum of 1 decimal place. So my answer goes out to 2 decimal places, so this is correct. Okay? So this is my average, the average of the sampling distribution. Okay, now, if I did have the data, which we do, if you go back and calculate the average of the 100 heights, you'll find that it's not going to equal this. Why? Because we're estimating using the midpoint. Okay, so, but if this is all we have, this is all we have, and this is the best we could do, which is still good. Okay, so if you have any questions, again, email me, let me know in class. I do other examples in class, so hopefully this makes sense, okay? Rewind, review, try it yourself without looking, see if you can do it, see if you can get the same answer. Okay, anything else here? I think that's it that I want to show. Okay, so let's show skewness. Okay, so now, let's talk about skewness and the mean and the median and the mode. Okay. So remember, we had 3 different distributions that we could talk about. Well, there are 4, but we're going to talk about 3. So we have symmetric. Okay. We have skewed right. And then we have skewed left. if it's a symmetric distribution, then the mean, median, and mode will all be the same. So the mean will equal the median, will equal the mode. Okay? If it's skewed, then it depends on if it's skewed left or skewed right. So if it's skewed right, then what you have to understand is that the mean is more sensitive to skewness or outliers, extreme values, what we call very extreme values. Outliers are very extreme values, either small or large, okay? So if we have skewed right, so that means we have some values over here that are really big, so it's skewed that way, okay? The mean is more affected by the skewness, which means it's going to be pulled more in that direction, okay, than either the median or the mode, okay? So the mean is the most sensitive. It's affected the most. The mode is the least affected by skewness. And the median is between, okay? So what you would look at is you'd see something like this. Okay, where this would be the mode, followed by the median, followed by the mean, okay? If the data is skewed left, then you'd see it go the other way. And I'm exaggerating this a little bit. So this would be the mode, the median, and the mean. Okay? So here's the takeaway for it, okay? So the takeaway is this. If the data is skewed, what do you think would be a better measurement of the center of the data set, the mean or the median? Well, the answer is the median, if the data is skewed. If the data is symmetric, then it doesn't matter, so we usually go with the average most of the time because it's the most familiar to people. It's the one that people know in context, okay? So if the data is symmetric, then we use the average to describe the mean, the middle, okay? If the data is skewed, then we want to use the median, not the mean. Okay? The only time we're going to use the mode is really when we're dealing with categorical data. Why? Because when we're dealing with categorical data, we can't calculate a mean or median because it's not numerical. It's non-numerical, right? It's qualitative data. So in those cases, we would use the mode as a measurement of center. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Again, if you have any questions, email me, let me know, or ask me in class. But again, this ends this section. And so next time, what we're going to do is, now that we've discussed the measurements of center of a data set, the next section we're going to talk about how do we measure how spread out the data is, or what we call dispersion, or variability, variance. Okay? So that's next time. Okay? Have a good day.